This conference will
You're
now be
fine.
recorded.
I don't even know she's coming. You can pull up a chair. You're good. Is she?
Yeah.
You can't hold it so long.
Push and hold.
Hold it till it turns green.
You just gotta push it. You
Really
don't
hard.
have to.
Use your strength. Use your finger strength, Dave.
You'll feel it click.
There you go. All right, we'll call the meeting to order. Any additions or corrections to the agenda? There are a couple. Brian, you want to say anything about that, or do we need to?
Oh, yes. Well, a change on the agenda. Blue Duck had reached out and said that they can't make it tonight because they're still waiting for some more information. They don't want to present until they have all of their information, so they're going to hold off till next meeting. Or if we receive things in between, before next meeting, the subcommittee will review that and then come back with a recommendation.
All right, so we will drop A under new business, presentation by Blue Duck. Any other corrections or additions? If not, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion's passed. Regular minutes from July 20th, 2022. Are there any direction or additions or corrections?
Nope, I make a motion to approve the meeting minutes as written.
Motion's been made and second, or is there a second? Sorry. Now it's been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion's passed for the minutes. Accounts payable. We have our very qualified substitute from CETA here tonight, who will give us an update on the budget and the accounts payable.
Well, I don't know that I'm going to say much other than they're in your packet in front of you. If you do have any specific questions, we can sure try and answer those. But it seems like everything's fairly typical from what you have seen. I guess the one thing that I would note is the check disbursement to the Lions was for your leftover festival money. So that went out.
So is the festival a separate line item in the budget?
It was.
It was,
Yeah, it was an $18,000 line item.
but it was under the EDA?
It was under the EDA. Yep.
Okay.
It's no longer. You'll notice it's no longer there for 2023.
Yep, good.
Proposed budget reflects zero now.
Yep. I'll make a motion to accept the financial report.
Is there a second? Second. Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? I have one question, Brian, before we approve. With Blue Duck, where would the amount of money that we have available to offer them or help them with, would it be under any of these or would it be under something totally different?
No, we got one of the revolving funds.
So we have about 158,000 at our disposal.
In 250, and then you also have the 404 EDA revolving loan account too.
Okay, so we've got the two revolving ones.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly which one those dollars would come from.
Okay.
But yeah, everyone's there. Neil was here, he was wanting to try and spend some of those dollars, because once you spend those dollars, you can refill those dollars with some state programs.
Sure.
So it's good that we can get someone, interested, bring in something that the community needs, to use some of those dollars for that. Might get like, I don't know which one, 401 Online adoption.
What about the sales tax money from Rochester? Where does that fall?
That is being reserved for future industrial projects.
That's right, that's right, that's right. Any other questions? If not, like I said, we have a motion to, and a second to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's passed. All right. 2023 budget. Again, I will put this in the hands of Ron and Brian and answer any of your questions.
Okay, I'll take that. I didn't, like I was telling Ron and Rich, I'm involved with the budget so much as to say, move some money here, move some money there, let's look at this account, let's look at that one. Kim does all the moving around and categorizing and this and that. But so this is gonna be a high level explanation here, but you'll see under 403 the revenues that the 18,000 that was in there for last year for the festival is no longer in there. There is a tax abatement line in there of 10,600. Ron, you said that it looked like that was based on the notes you had from Dylan and Kurt, it looks like that was a admin.
It does seem high, quite frankly, so I think it is something that we want to verify with other staff.
So I'll talk with Kim about that too, but what you'll also see here is that the transfers in were 62,888 last year. This year, or in 2023, we're projecting 22,997, even though the 18,000 is no longer there for festival. This would be explained by that 10.6 with the abatement and the fact that I had asked Kim to see if we can put some money in there for programming. I don't know if you remember at last month's meeting, Joya was here, Stewartville, and she talked about programming, that they have a line item in their EDA budget where they can come up with a program each year to get some dollars out to local businesses, whether it be they had a rental assistance program to help it was a structured program basically to help with rent for the first however many months of a new business moving in. They've done facade. I know we did that one time too, but those type of things. But this would be roughly $10,000 of money to just have the EDA Kurt, along with his colleagues at CEDA who have done the programming before, come up with something that would benefit the local businesses. So again, I asked him to put that in there somewhere. That shows up under let's see, that shows up under department services right now. I think that's where she parked those dollars. And we had to see what that did to the levy and all that good stuff. So as of right now, that's what's in there. Some extra, almost 10,000 for that. There's a few dollars in here for under promotional expenses. I think those are the flowers, the extra flowers. That's about $600. Kind of projected a little bit more. And then development projects, we put another $774 in there. So all in all, even though we took the 18,000 out with those things added back in, the revenues are up by a couple of $1,000, $3,000 for the EDA.
And so Brian, those were added from where? The general budget into here,
Well,
or
the
this was
10.6 I can't-
moving
yeah, the
403's money around?
The 10.6, I can't explain the extra 10,000 for programming, those would be levy dollars. And that's reflected on what you'll see tomorrow night on the levy amount. I know how you feel.
It's gonna
about
make me
that.
sick, isn't it? No money for any of you.
Well, and as Ron and I and Rich were discussing a little earlier too, so as far as the budget goes for tonight for EDA, I don't see it going higher than this.
Okay.
So if you were to approve this tonight, I don't see us coming back and putting more money into EDA than what we've already put in here. It could go lower.
And do we have a plan, or maybe Ron, do we have a plan to kind of assess and address what that program structured program need could or would look like for 2023? Is that something that's kind of on the top of Kurt's list of,
That would be.
here's your job, figure this one out?
Yeah, that would be part of the work plan.
Okay.
That would come back to this board. You know, Brian hit on a few of the things, but I mean, it could be anything.
Mhm.
You know, there's downtown storefront revitalization, there's second story apartment revitalization programs in some communities, there's signage programs, there's.
Some alley areas that could be really nice with some revitalization, even in the alley, you know, that type of stuff.
Looking at the budget for a little bit for that abatement question, if you go on to, I think it's page 2, it appears, under the Zabrota Vet Clinic abatement, down in expenditures, there's a line item in here, abatement to EDA for $10,300. So I don't know if that was an agreement that was put in place where, you know, maybe some of the abatement dollars were coming to the EDA. I don't know. That's one of the things we'll have to confirm, but I think that's where that figure is coming from.
That would make sense because the abatement originally did come from EDA dollars, so for it to flow back there makes sense. So hopefully those two things reconcile out.
Yeah, but I'll get, Kim and I will talk through that as well.
Like Rich had said, and I think Brian had said, this is something that, you know, if you do wish to move forward with it, I think you could feel comfortable in your budget and knowing that that's probably your ceiling, and if it does come down, it may come down a little bit. So.
Because the situation is that before our next meeting, for us to approve it, the city council has to approve it the week before. So we really have to almost act on this tonight in order to give our approval, recommendations, concerns, whatever, if everybody's comfortable with that.
I think this is the first time I've actually understood this budget in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
So I think it's good.
Well, and two, we can always, at the council level, say, no, we're not doing that revitalization this year if we wanted to and cut it down. We can't go up, but we can come down.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
But you won't.
Are you kidding? Want to go to the meeting tomorrow night?
Chop, 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 chop.
No, my property taxes are going to be too high. I can't afford them. I shouldn't have built that house.
All right, so any other questions or comments, concerns, reactions?
I'll make a motion, we approve the 2023 budget as proposed.
I will second that.
Should I vote or should I abstain because I missed most of the discussion?
You're here,
Okay.
officially part of the group, so you can let your conscience be your guide. I think it's okay if you're okay with it, unless you have any questions or. Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the budget for the 2023. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's passed. Thank you, everybody. Weren't you, just one side here, this program, I thought you guys were getting a new,
We're working on it.
oh, you still haven't gotten it? Oh, okay.
It's a implementation will start in October.
Oh, okay. Good. All right, public hearing. I assume none. Old business, Tranquility Barn. Looks like Tranquility Barn is up and running, and they no longer are requesting any assistance from us.
Yep. Secure all the equipment they needed.
I was there last week.
And they have a grand
Looks
opening,
very nice.
they have a grand opening coming up.
September 7th.
Let me grab that sheet.
Yeah, it's Wednesday, September 7th.
Where you got it, Brian?
He can confirm it. I should have told him I have one.
It's right here. in your brain.
And I'm pretty sure it's a Wednesday.
Did you say 4 to 6, Miranda?
4 to 7. So
4
I
to
guess I
7.
could be wrong on the date, thinking of 7 p.m.
Here he comes. He can confirm or deny.
What'd you say, you already had it?
What is it?
Miranda just wants you to check her work.
September 1st. Thursday, September
So
1st. From 4 to 7 p.m.
Close.
I told you what I was unsure of, and I was right, but I was unsure of.
And that's a Thursday, right?
Yes, Thursday, September 1st.
You were off on that too. Said
4 to 7?
Wednesday.
I did, I said Wednesday the 7th.
4 p.m. to 7 p.m.
She was right on that.
I was right on the time. I said, I think it's the 7th, but I could be thinking the 7th is the 7th.
And you said 4 to
4 p.m. to 7 p.m.
All right, good. Well, we wish them luck and hope everything goes well.
Are you doing a plaque and such?
Yep, we will. We usually wait a little while
Yep.
before we do the plaques. But yeah, we saw them yesterday at the Eda Meeting, and they're pretty excited, so.
All right, so new business. Blue Duck presentation's been dropped. CETA Regional Development Tour.
I can handle that one, I guess.
We'll give it to you. Take it away.
For the past 6 years, this is the 7th annual, we have done a regional development tour. And what we have found is that a lot of developers, engineers, finance people kind of get caught in the Twin Cities or get caught in Rochester, and they don't really see us out here in smaller communities. And what we've done is, and this is a program that Joya and Chris and our marketing department came up with, is worked out a deal with Rochester City Lines to utilize one of their coach buses and get 50 to 55 people that are invite only onto this bus. And, you know, they get presentations, they get a flash drive with information from the communities. But more importantly, they actually get into the communities. So this year, the 3 communities are going to be Zumbrota, Goodhue, and Lake City. So they're all within Goodhue County, essentially. I know Lake City's kind of a dual county. But the goal with this is to try and make things happen. And it could be housing, it could be some industrial development type stuff. It could be trying to assist in a road project. Every year, there's been deals that have been done on this bus or because of this bus. Last year, I think, or maybe it was 2 years ago now, Joel Young down in Chatfield, they had a street that they needed help financing. And there was a power company representative there that could utilize some federal funds that they end up getting a street. There was 1 year when Stewartville was chosen, and a lot of the discussion happened about how a business got sold downtown in succession planning. There was 1 year that the bus went to Blooming Prairie. And I don't know if you guys know anything about Blooming Prairie, but their swimming pool is a spring-fed kind of open area. And I mean, that was the talk of the thing. But some of the comments we've heard, like there's a developer in the cities that won't miss the tour now, but he drew the short straw the first year, and he was just dreading getting onto this bus to go to Blooming Prairie. And by the end of it, he thought that the joke was kind of on the rest of his colleagues because he was doing stuff. So it's our way to try and help get the word out in these communities. I mean, you know, with Highway 52 going right by, I don't know how many people that are engineers and developers get off the highway and come into downtown. And it's our opportunity to shine here. The covered bridge is where the tour will start. It's where the tour will end. So there'll be a reception at the covered bridge that night, which everybody's welcome to attend. The tour is set for Wednesday, September 28th. You know, there's probably about 45 minutes to an hour in each community. So there will be somebody from Zumbrota, and I don't think that's been finalized yet, as to who will hop onto the bus and give the tour, whether it's one of our people, whether it's Rich, whether it's Brian, whether it's the mayor, just showing people around to say, hey, there are these things out here, and these are things that can happen. The majority of people on that bus aren't going to know about downtown housing. That we've put 53 units of housing right into our downtown. So it's a great opportunity. There's no cost to the communities if you don't want there to be any cost. At the end, you'll end up with a video that you will be able to put on your website. There will be photographers that will be coming into town, taking pictures, and probably some drone work, probably mid-September timeframe. And those pictures will all be yours to access. We are out looking for sponsorships. There are 2 different levels right now. One's at a $500 level and one's at a $1,000 level. The main difference is the ability to talk a little bit at the reception. Right now, Zumbrota has the most sponsors. The bank is one sponsor. Zumbrota Ford is a sponsor. DFA is a sponsor, which I was very pleased to see them involved in a community thing like this. I'm probably missing somebody else, but it is an opportunity to get some exposure. It's an opportunity to have a quality video. In the end, go on to your website if you wish it to. So that's what's going to happen. Again, it's going to happen whether you participate at all or not. But we do want people to have the ability to say yes if they wish to, so that they can get their logo on the materials and that kind of stuff. So that's the development tour.
Does CEDA send out the invitations?
We do the selection, yes. Our problem is that we get too many people coming, trying to get on the bus. Quite frankly, especially this time of year, we get politicians that want on there. I've never been on the bus. There's never been a spot for me on the bus yet, so I'm one of the ones that ends up on the outside. But the people that need to be on there are the ones that we get on there. Of course, it'll be the ones that have been on in the past. If they're doing deals, we want to try and get them into more communities doing deals, but we'll spread that out into engineering companies and stuff. So
I don't know if I can make a recommendation, but the Bank of Zumbrota works with Minnesota Rural Water. And there is a program, micro loans, midi loans, depending on the loan size, that are available for municipalities to borrow money without having to do a bond issuance. They do it through this loan program. They use the Freiberger law firm in Duluth to issue the tax exempt financing.
okay.
That might, to get a representative from that on the bus might be helpful. And that obviously
Thank
is
you.
tooting the Bank of Zumbrota's horn a little bit too, self-serving. But it is a very good program, so.
Thanks.
Yep.
I think the talk was Dylan would even come down and maybe ride on the bus, because he's so well versed in our development areas around town. I'm not sure that Kurt has been able to grasp yet, more than myself, even too. So I think that was kind of what Kurt was thinking right now was Dylan for sure, and then maybe even Kim knows the town very well, been here for her whole life, and can speak well to everything.
As have you. You moved like 3 blocks from your.
I know, but they didn't mention me, so I wasn't going to put myself in there.
They didn't?
That's right.
Rude.
So anyway, but it's still, like Ron said, still up in the air. Those were just thoughts that Kurt had.
It's quite frankly, it's going to be tough to get around Zumbrota in 45 minutes with all the stuff that you have going on. You want to give a little time on each development project that you go see and stuff. So that's a good problem to have.
That's a good thing.
Is there any Zumbrota swag we can send them with? Miranda?
We've got some stuff.
Oh, no, not that we have, that we can order. We don't,
What would you
they
like?
don't want Red Wing pottery.
What would you like?
Yeah.
Oh, no, we're not gonna give that away, but we'd have wine glasses.
I don't know, gotta think about it,
Like a coolie.
maybe.
Everyone. gives
Everybody
them.
has a gazillion clues.
Yeah.
We had,
So,
when we
not as a
moved,
broker.
we had a box of them. Ridiculous.
We need 1,000.
Can we get little Tina bobbleheads?
Hey.
Say yes to Zimbro.
If you go like this, it'll go like that.
I don't know, we'll have to think about it, so.
Yeah.
It goes more like this.
You know, the nice thing is that, you know, they aren't going to be given files of brochures.
Right.
They're getting one flash, and it will all be on there for the 3 communities, so they can take it back and filter through it. So, you know, the stuff that you'd want to give may be more of a personal
Nice
type
pen.
nature rather than.
Reminds them of Zimbrota every
I don't know
time.
if it'd be.
What are
like-
the other towns, historically, what have they gotten?
Okay, I don't even know.
Oh, you don't,
Yeah,
you don't, you're not on the bus?
Yeah,
you
I'm
don't-
not on the
He doesn't get
bus,
the-
so I
he doesn't
haven't
get the
gotten
swag
one-
bag.
yeah,
Golf
yeah,
shirts,
one thing.
that's what it
There you
is.
go, there you go. But you know, I could definitely see, you know, like a dessert item. You know, if you do something like that, or, you know, like.
Bridget's?
Look at you all
In Spring
practical.
Grove, of course, the obvious thing would be Spring Grove Pop.
Mhm.
You know, the DFA and Zimbrota Ford and the bank will be able to provide whatever they wish to too, so.
Well, it sounds exciting, sounds fun. We're looking forward to hearing how it goes. Anything else for Ron or Brian on the CETA tour? If not, do you have any other reports, Ron?
I do not.
Anything else anyone wishes to contribute?
I do,
I was gonna say,
and Gary probably does.
yeah, Gary, there was an addition that must have gotten missed, and I apologize for missing the beginning of the meeting.
No, you're right, that's,
You're so stealthy.
I was gonna ask.
Gary would like to present on a mural in the
Garden.
garden.
Yeah, so, sorry, I should have sent you guys like something to look at, while you guys were talking, I just drew this up, but first I wanna ask, one of the neighbors of the garden said that there was a 3-year lease that was up this year, and they're planning on buying that lot to put in a parking lot. If that's the case, I don't really want.
They can't, it's a flood buyout.
That's what I said too. She's just trying to start shit, I guess. Anyway, sorry. So I'm sorry, it's really small, but this is the garden layout. This is 4th Street side. And then Bitter Creek runs behind the garden. The post office is back there. And then there's I think it's 5th Street bridge over here. We currently have a Zimbrota Lions bench placed in the front. But the Lions wanted to donate another bench in memory of Tat Irich, who died last year. And so I reached out to a muralist because I think where I want to put it in the garden is behind this maple tree that overlooks the creek. Over the past 3 years, we've been restoring the north side, you can't see it from this picture, with compost and building organic matter to create more life going on down there. And then on the other side, there's a nice 20-foot section of wall that's just open. And so I was thinking about doing a mural here in memory of Tat. I don't have any mock-ups of it because I just talked to Sean McCain, who's out of the Twin Cities. He's really good. Does a lot of realistic stuff. I was thinking about something with Tat with a harmonica and a guitar, and then notes coming off and depicting things about our community. So farming and you know, basically regenerative agriculture kind of stuff. But I wanted to talk to you guys about approval first because I don't want to.
Look at how good you're getting at this.
Yeah.
Good job.
So funding wise for it, I talked to Sean. He wants $2,000 for the mural. He needs a place to stay and he needs the paint paid for. My plan was to go fund me. I feel like enough people in this community really know Tat and enjoyed him that we wouldn't have a problem securing that money. And the plans, I wanted to do it this year, but if it doesn't, if we need to go through more, it's not, you know. But yeah, I talked to Sean tentatively. He can do it late September, early October. So I just wanted to get approval before
So there will be a parking lot across from there.
from the garden? Oh, you're talking about like over here where
Yeah.
they tore down Dan's old house? Okay.
That will be a parking.
Yeah, that doesn't
Okay.
matter. It's just kind of a hidden spot. I mean, to be honest, I wish it was more showcased. but I kind of like that it is, like, you have to get into the garden to see it. So to bring more people. Yeah, exactly. It's a secret mural kind of.
What would the mural be painted on?
Onto there's the limestone brick. So we were gonna paint.
Must be a retaining wall.
For the creek?
Yeah, on the wall of the creek. The creek walls are about 10 foot tall.
Okay.
Maybe a little less, maybe 8 foot. And then we were gonna do 10 to 20 feet in length, depending on.
How much you raise?
What's that?
How much you raise?
I'm just wondering about the long-term feasibility of that with flooding and that type of thing,
So
washing onto that and.
I talked to Sean about that. He said as long as we pressure wash or clean off the wall really well and then do a base coat, what do you use before you do paint? Primer, it shouldn't wash off. And then also because it's in a shaded spot, it will hold for quite a while, won't need a lot of touching up. Because I looked at doing one in my building, but it's south facing, he's like, you're gonna have to touch this under every 3 years.
Sure.
For that kind of money, it's like,
Yeah.
So yeah,
What's just a couple of things pop in my head. You're gonna paint it along the creek wall, the
Yeah.
sign in the creek.
Yeah.
Isn't that, Corps of Engineers or DNR?
State of Minnesota, I believe, owns the property of the river.
So don't you have to get permission from them?
That's fine.
We pay for the retaining walls, so they must be
We
ours.
paid for the riprap.
Yeah.
I don't think we paid for the retaining wall.
Yeah.
We just paid to
Oh,
make sure
for
that
the
the soil
riprap,
doesn't go
but-
into the water.
We'll have to probably find out.
Yeah, I should make a couple of calls.
Yeah, because I don't think you better do something if they haven't given you the okay. And the other thing is this something that should be in front of planning and zoning as opposed to us?
I don't know, I just talked to Todd, he said start with the E EDA.
I think it'd go right to, that's what I was gonna say, council.
Good idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Where else?
Think
Noble.
I think like what Brian was saying, the alley behind where Blue Duck wants, you guys still talking about Blue Duck in the Barge building, right? Or, yeah, of course, Zimmerman Barge. That whole back could be all murals, on her building, on my mom's building, I mean, we could.
I wanna do one on the patio at the Goose too,
Yeah.
but I'd have to get the news records permission because it's their building. But that would be.
That would be really well shaded too, so it would last a long time.
It would last
too.
a long time.
Yeah, but I feel like that whole alley, with all that Bob Lucas has done with all the gardening stuff back there, it's really an area that has a lot of potential that I see, especially if Blue Duck comes in. I mean, putting lighting that comes across and having it at a lit patio, and I'm excited. I'm excited for the possibility, so.
Yeah, well, I can try and get some answers tomorrow, and then you want to show up again tomorrow night?
Is that council meeting tomorrow? Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
That's not a problem.
6 PM
6 PM.
start,
Okay.
and I'll just do an add to the agenda, I suppose.
Okay.
At that time,
Sounds good. And then in the meantime, you're gonna talk to whoever from state of Minnesota.
I'll see if I can get an answer from
An
somebody.
answer,
You know,
yeah. That's
All this
the-
crick stuff, I usually have been dealing with Bo Kennedy. So he'll have some guidance probably too, of who to talk to, if it's not them.
Maybe they wouldn't, it doesn't have any, maybe they'll say, well, no, that's your retaining wall, or, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember, we used to own that post office house and remodeled it, and we needed to give an easement when they improved that wall. I don't remember who it was to.
I'll find out.
Yeah, I don't really know for sure.
Okay, well, don't start waiting until you get to the right.
Yeah, no, I know. I know.
Get that guy done scrubbing it off.
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, but anything else?
So I just had one item, Brian, I didn't know if you invited the EDA to the thing at the school as well with Andre Cohn, if that was.
I didn't invite any of the boards at all, but good. Gonna have room.
Okay.
We're going to have a speaker speak on diversity and inclusion. Lost his
Andre
first
Cohn.
name. Andre Cohn, someone that Tina has seen speak a couple of times. We're doing it in conjunction with the school because we wanted to use the auditorium, and they were all for having a speaker like that as well. So it'll be school staff. I sent it out to Winnebago, Goodhue, Pine Island, Mazeppa, for all of their staffs to attend, not the schools. Those were just city staffs, because otherwise we won't have enough room in the auditorium with all of the teachers and school staff and our staff. But yeah, there's room for boards if anybody is interested. I could send that email out to all the various board members too.
Yeah, I think it's a
That'd be good.
Okay.
good opportunity. Team up with the diversity director. Put him down, I like him so much.
Anything else?
That's all I have.
Now, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make it.
I'll second. Motion's made and second. All in favor, say aye to adjourn.
Are you,
Meeting's adjourned.
I thought I saw the sign, but I.
I gotta get some
I didn't
bigger
s-
ones.
I know, I didn't
So-
slow down enough to read it.
Right, so I just ordered them.
Yeah.
That are bigger.
Are you running unopposed?
No, Jason Majerus.
Jason
is
is